Dear friend, I am grief-stricken, disappointment-loaded, sadness-saturated, because if you ask me, while the Volkswagen GTI was born in June 1976, only a few short weeks after I was, it dies in so many ways in 2024. I've been a fan of the GTI for as long as I can remember, as most car enthusiasts. And I'm not saying it's the greatest. I love the Civic Si and I love the WRX and all these sport compact cars, but you don't need to hear it from me, but we have to hand it to Volkswagen, the Golf, and the GTI for creating something that, at least in my opinion, defines my generation. You know, muscle cars for the generation before mine and the one, whatever. You catch my drift. I mean, I'm such a fan of the Golf, the GTI, the Golf R, that I own 11 t-shirts of the Golf GTI and the Golf R. And if I'm to include my GTI with a trunk t-shirts, yes, I own a Jetta GTX, a Mark II. That number goes up to 14. Apologies. Plus that excludes the hats and the hoodies and everything else. And I mean, just so you know, like I have Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 4, Mark 6, Mark 7. Mark 3, I've never found one. And it's only because I've never found one, but I don't know that I'll ever have a Mark 8 GTI or Golf. Well, there's no Mark 8 Golf in Canada, as you very well know. I don't know that I'll ever own a shirt of the Mark 8 GTI. I mean, obviously, maybe I will. But anyway, point is that it's difficult for me right now to entertain or to continue to fuel my passion for Volkswagen. I may have mentioned this in the past, but maybe 2 years ago, the Volkswagen dealership where I bought my Mark 7.5 Golf Sport Wagon called me and said, "Sir, we'd love to see if we could get you into a new car. We'd be very interested in purchasing your Sport Wagon because everybody wants, well, a lot of people want some, and there aren't that many available." And I simply told the person who called me that, sadly, over at Volkswagen at the time, save for the GTI and the R, nothing interests me. And now, because as you probably know, 2025, the Mark 8.5, the facelifted version of the current Golf GTI, will do away with what is a defining element that makes the GTI and the Golf R, the manual transmission. Just so you know, this is a 2024 with a manual transmission, hence why I have it, hence why I don't want to give it back, hence why I'm so upset and grief-stricken, because this car is so damn good. So damn good. But it's ugly, but that's just me. I just want to sit in front of the car and share stories about what this car has done to fuel my passion over the last 35 years or so that I've known that cars had to be a part of my life. 40 maybe even, because I am that old. I'm really, really sad. It goes back tomorrow, in fact. And it will be the last time, the absolute last time that I will drive a brand new manual transmission Volkswagen, period. GTI and Golf R. I'm upset with Volkswagen. I'm going to carry on. You don't have to watch this, but it's nice if you do, because we have to share our pain amongst enthusiasts. I'm upset with Volkswagen because, say, for example, Subaru and even Toyota. Toyota, especially, boring car company, which it really isn't anymore, and Subaru, which is a tiny little thing, insist, and for that I'm so thankful, to continue to offer manual transmissions in their compact cars. I mean, in fact, over at for the WRX and the BRZ, I forget the exact number, but 75% or give or take of all their sales of BRZ and WRX are manual. I think that's the right number. Anyhow, it's well over 50%, so there's no reason for them to remove it. I don't know what the exact numbers of this, you know, the GTI and the Golf are sold manual versus DSG, but it shouldn't matter. Volkswagen should offer a manual transmission as an option for $2,500. And the real enthusiasts will, you know, pay the money to get, because it also happens to be an extraordinary manual transmission. I've been dreading doing this review video because I knew that it was going to be just before I returned the car, and I'm going to get upset. And I mean, I'm going to close the intro on saying that the only hope right now that I have for Volkswagen, for enthusiasts, not for consumers per se, but is Volkswagen's investment in Rivian. Yeah. I assume GTI will not die, and perhaps we'll get a Rivian R3X version with Volkswagen logos on it, and it'll be the new GTI or the new GTX, because I don't see that we'll get the ID3 anytime soon. Yes, there has been a concept of an all-electric GTI. I don't know, but it still won't have a manual transmission, and even if they put a manual transmission on an electric motor to simulate manual shifts, it will never be the same. All right, next walk around drive. You know how it goes. If you've watched my videos, if you have, thank you. So here we go. Okay, I mean, to be fair, when I say the car is ugly, it's not from the rear. I mean, it actually looks pretty damn good. I like the tailpipe, tail light treatment, and the profile overall is actually quite nice. I mean, you've seen a number of these, although I have to admit they're much fewer and far between than the Mark 7 and Mark 7.5, but where I have a little bit of a hard time physically, it's just the brow of the front. The fogs I used to dislike, but now I actually really like them when they're lit up. I think I got a good picture of that in the gallery. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, sure, it's a GTI, it's a hatchback, it's okay. Pricing in the US for the base S car, $31,695, and at the very other end of the spectrum, 5 trims later, 6 total. The 380 GTI, the 380 Autobahn, $40,825. In Canada, it's a simpler lineup. It's the base GTI that includes the 7-speed DSG for $34,795. Then the mid-trim is the Autobahn 6-speed manual. So that's the first version you can get with the manual transmission. It is $36,895. And I will tell you right now, that is the version to get. Point blank, straight up, that's it, that's all. And then there's a top trim performance, $40,995, and that's what you're staring at right now. But the base GTI, other than the 7-speed DSG and a 2-liter turbo, it's at 8-inch touchscreen display, 10.25-inch IP, LEDs all over the place, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, scale paper plaid seats, yes, heated front seats, heated steering wheel, and the limited slip differential and so on. I mean, it's the amount of kits and performance for just under 35 grand is, well, remarkable, period. Performance, you get the Vienna leather, meh. The massive panoramic sunroof, which is meh. I mean, it's just completely pointless if you ask me. It's extra weight. You get cooled front seats, heated rear seats, heads-up display, Harman Kardon audio, 19-inch wheels, which come with the Autobahn. That includes also the 10-inch touchscreen display on the inside and the dynamic chassis control, which comes from the Autobahn. Heated rear seats. The color here you're looking at is the only color you should get the car in, which is King's Red. Grand total $41,490. My car does not have the Vienna leather interior with cooled seats. No, it has the scale paper plaid, which is a $0 option. I'll show them to you in a few moments. I had a final lap of the car. The 19-inch Estoril wheels are gorgeous, and I do like the fact that yep, there they are wheels. It's just okay. It's not ugly. It's actually really cool. And the King's Red. Oh, this also has it's King's Red two-tone, so it's got the black roof, which is absolutely totally cool with me. All right, so that 562 liters. It's still extremely usable. I'm just showing this to you quickly. kind of, not really, but still some space back there. It just totally works as a family car, as demonstrated. Here we go. Move a little bit, and then you get an idea of the plaid seats. Fit, finished, very Volkswagen. It's always nice, solid, sturdy, plenty of room back there. No, I won't say any comments about the 25 update. I'll wait till I get the car. Again, Volkswagen does door bins like no other automaker, these seats. I've threatened Volkswagen Canada with stealing seats, especially the plaid ones from GTIs, for years and years to put in my Golf, but anyways, I would still steal these. I love the one-piece headrest. The bolsters are ginormous. I mean, it's like 3/4 the depth of my hand. Always with the manual base, which is brilliant, and the power seat back. This is how it's supposed to work, and a manual height adjustment. It's just extraordinary. It just all works. It's well, speaking of work, this is still a glorious pain in my rear. You warm up to it, but only because you have to warm up to it. Not because, oh, okay, that's interesting. You warm up to it only because you have no choice. You know, when you get to the home button, I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, because it has to start navigation, because it has to decide what's going on. The only thing I really want to show you is Apple CarPlay. Once you're plugged in, at least in my case, it's always plugged in. It shows up here, so you can go straight to that. It's warm, so I'll show you the climate control right there. And we'll turn it on. It's not bad, but you can always shortcut through here once you're back. Anyway, point is, what I want to show you is this. If you want to take the ESP off, which is something you want to do, or at least turn it down in the GTI while you're driving it, so you got to be sure you're in exterior, scooch over one, brakes, and there you go. That's how you got to do it. So many steps required to do that. I don't know, I find it annoying. The other thing I want to show you, drive modes. Eco, Comfort, Sport, not that great. Well, it's fine, you know, but because there's a custom, and because this has a dynamic chassis control, you have to set it up. I got this. I'm on top of things. Here we go. This is how the car has to be set up. DCC, almost smack in the middle. That is your perfect compromise between comfort and handling. Steering has to be comfort because already it's under 1.96 turns lock to lock. It's already fast. You don't need even more artificial assistance. Drivetrain, sport, because engine sound, because it sounds, I hate it. And all the rest is just for whatever. This is what you want, right? Right around here is a sweet spot for the DCC, comfort, sport, and eco, unless you like the buzzy fake sound. It's not horrible, but it just annoys me. 10.25 inch IP, which is cool. It also kind of is configurable, and I think you might be able to see the head-up display. There it is. Storage is decent. Bins again, seats. They don't seem as nice as they were, say, in the Mark 7, but that just might be my memory messing with me. And visibility is very, very nice all over. I know I got the little opening, which is useless, but still lets in, or gives you the impression that you can see right around the pillar, which is still relatively big, because Volkswagen still does what we used to call the small doors. I love that. Or still do, in fact, for the older cars. Anyhow, that's it. Oh, steering wheel, haptic controls. I hate them. I just absolutely hate them. And I won't say anything about the updated version, but yeah, that's enough. Okay, let's go for a drive. I don't want to start this part of the video because after that it's over. It's fini. It's done. I guess we could just start with what's upsetting me the most, the manual transmission. And Volkswagen has been no, nothing.
Please repeat.
Cancel. Has been. Try not to say that anymore.
Cancel.
Love technology, don't you? Yeah. They've created, the automaker has created some of the most user-friendly manual transmissions since forever. I mean, the first brand new Mark IIIs and Mark IVs that I drove, even at the time, even my Mark II with 220,000 kilometers on it is still, it's good. Well, I've done a few things to it, but anyway, the point is, it's not as sharp as what you get in a Civic Type R or even an SI. It's not as notchy and mechanical as you get in a rear drive BRZ or GT86, but it's so easy to use. It's so intuitive. It flows. The friction point on the clutch is always immediately, it can be found so easy. It's such a wonderful, wonderful, usable, user-friendly, daily driver appropriate type of manual transmission. It's just all part of the sadness and frustration that I'm experiencing with the disappearance of this. The good news, I suppose, for a few more years, minimally, is the EA888 Evo 4 turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, which is it's 241 horsepower from 5,000 to 6,500 RPM and 271 pound-feet of torque from 1,750 to 4,300 RPM. So effectively, the power band is with you from start to finish. And of the many things about this engine, it is utterly refined. It is beautiful. There are a few spots, with throttle application in initial response, but that's why you leave it in sport and you get the maximum, most instantaneous responsiveness to any dip in throttle. It's a fantastic engine, and look, I don't know what I'm averaging because I don't care, because I'm sad. But Volkswagen says, you can average about 8.8 liters per 100 kilometers, which is impressive considering the performance with this car. As I speak about performance and I wait another traffic light, but the 0 to 100 kilometer an hour sprint is in like 6.1 or 6.2 seconds, which is quickish in 2002 terms maybe, but like a good MX-5 or even a BRZ, it's the sense of speed that really, really matters, because the torque is so, it's nearly omnipresent. And when you put your foot down, it just wants to go and wants to take you places. Oh, it's so delicious. Can't you just taste it? And as you shift, and it just keeps pulling and pulling. And amongst the other things too, this is still only a 3,200-ish pound car, which is only about 110 pounds more than a Mark 7. So with the extra power, compared to what you had in the last Mark 7.5, it seems so much quicker. It also seems wider and squatter, so it appears to be a lot nimbler, and it is. I mean, the steering, as I said, it's really, really quick, and in comfort, it gives you the sense that you're doing things. You can almost feel the front end. At least I think I can. What you do feel is the LSD. When it kicks in, it's like any good mechanical limited slip differential, where you feel the wheel hook up. Oh yeah. You feel it, like there's a mild. It's not torque steer because it's not pulling to one side, but it's like the car at the front end is digging in when you accelerate hard. Especially when you accelerate through a corner or a long sweeper or whatever. Oh, what a feeling. This is going to be a long video, huh? Because it's going to be the last one anyway, so it might as well be long. And then the pièce de résistance, the dynamic chassis control. I drove in normal comfort a bit, and it's really, really good. The platform is, it's lovely, it's stiff, and the dampers do a lot of work. Multi-link and McPherson independent in front, obviously. It's a zero compromise, again, comfort and usability, user-friendliness for a daily application that is just as home on a track as it is crawling through traffic and on my nasty Greater Montreal area roads. Oh. There it is. Oh, yeah. That was 117 kilometers an hour. I shouldn't admit to that, but and if you drive with the windows down too, you can hear the exhaust. You can hear the turbo spooling up just ever so slightly. That me, it's part of the, for me and for most of you, I'm sure it's part of the physics. It's part of the experience. And I can only imagine what this thing must sound like with the Krapovic. I think I'm saying it right. Aftermarket exhaust, because it already sounds so nice. You don't need the buzzy interior noise generator thing. Yeah, stupid SUVs. I hate you. I don't know. It's an exceptional, oh yeah, there it is. Phenomenal automobile. It is simple in its purpose, dedicated in its purpose, beautifully honed to do everything it promises. And it's over. The DSG is quicker, fine. I don't know, 0.4 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour faster, maybe more than that. But heel toe, rev matching, downshifting. It's over. It's done. I'm grief stricken again. Sad. And like the FK8 Type R, just before it went away, I was at the time lucky enough and financially comfortable enough to buy one. This I would buy, but I can't. And that might be another reason why I am grief stricken beyond understanding for a stupid car. I love so much. If you've made it this far, thank you. Thank you, brothers and sisters.